welcome to the Toyota Arena in Prague as Real Madrid initiate their challenge in the second group phase of the Champions League against Czech Republic side Sparta Prague, a game that could go a long way towards deciding Madrid's destiny in this second stage of the competition.
Yeah, it could, because it's important that Real Madrid get a good start in the second stage. It's not the worst group. It's been a reasonably kind draw to Real Madrid. They've got Panathinaikos, Sparta Prague and Porto in the group. They need to get a good start, but should they get through this group, then of course that's when the real business starts, and it's not an easy trip, this one.
Certainly not. The Toyota Arena holds 18,700 fans, so it's not the biggest stadium in the competition by a long way, but what it is, it's a ground with a very tight atmosphere on top of the pitch.
Yeah, it is. It's tight. It'll be intense. It's a full house tonight, as I suppose you'd expect, because whenever Real Madrid travel anywhere, it's always a full house. But yeah, the atmosphere will be impressive tonight.
But certainly is Sparta Prague. Perhaps a slight surprise to get this far in the competition, but trips to Eastern Europe are never easy.
Yeah, I mean, Sparta Prague got through second in their group, which is Group H in the first round, just behind Bayern Munich. They finished ahead of Feyenoord and Spartak Moscow. It's not a bad run at all. They beat Spartak Moscow at home. They got a 0-0 draw at home with Bayern Munich. They were only beaten by Munich of all those sides. Only beaten once.
Bayern Munich, of course, the reigning Champions League champions. So, pretty decent performance by Sparta to get this far, and now perhaps the biggest test of all against Real Madrid, who are, of course, going for their 9th Champions League title in their history.
Yeah, 9th Champions League title. It's incredible, isn't it? No one gets near Real Madrid in this competition.
Certainly don't. There's a Sparta side and Madrid, very familiar Real Madrid lineup.
Yeah, although a lineup that's not quite as familiar as you might expect in the Champions League, because Madrid have Zinedine Zidane playing. Obviously only played 2 in the first round.
Be interesting to see how he does. Here's the Sparta Prague lineup: Čech, Hubishman, Novotny, Flatbart, Lavant, Sionko, Hasek, Jarosic, Mikalic, Hartig and Kinkel. Not all household names, but they have a well-organised team, as they proved in the first stage.
Yeah, and one of the difficulties for a club like Sparta Prague, and for a lot of clubs in this part of the world, of course, is that they develop a lot of great players. The Czech Republic develops some great players, but they nearly always get picked off.
Here is the Real Madrid lineup: Iker Casillas, defence is Salgado, Pavón, Hernando Hierro, Roberto Carlos, Makelele and Elguero will be in central midfield, with Zidane and Figo taking the wide roles, and of course up front Raúl and Morientes. So Zinedine Zidane only played 2 games.
Yep, because of course he joined Real Madrid with a suspension from his time at Juventus, missed the first 4 games of the Champions League this year, when Madrid actually did exceptionally well without him, but there's no doubt they're going to be even stronger with him.
There are the substitutes, a strong bench for Madrid tonight, with McManaman and Guti among others.
Yeah, and Solari as well, of course, who's the one who made way when Zinedine Zidane came back in. Although Solari, Del Bosque has called on him increasingly this year, and I think he's going to have a very, very important role to play this season.
There's Lavant swinging the ball into the Madrid area. I'm sure what Sparta will be looking for, and I'm sure what their fans will be cheering them on for, will be a good, positive start against Real Madrid.
Yeah, and then to try and put the pressure on Madrid and to try and make life difficult for them.
Be an interesting game, because as you say, the Czech Republic does produce a lot of good players. They have an excellent national team, but sometimes at club level they're not quite the same, because there isn't the same money.
Yeah, exactly. It's an economic imperative. That's all it is, that they get picked off. Their best players get picked off, and their best players. The other difficulty they have is their best players get picked off very quickly. So it's rare that they have time to really build a side.
Gone are the days when Sparta used to be the army team, I think, in Czechoslovakia, what used to be then Czechoslovakia, of course. Yeah. And in those days, they were a real major force in Europe, because
yes, they were. Yeah.
Basically the political system used to ensure that their football teams were very, very good. Little slack control there from Zidane, allowing Jarosic to win possession. Sparta Prague starting brightly. And there's Salgado in his own penalty area, looking to clear, and the offside flag is up against Kinkel, the number 9 for Sparta Prague tonight.
You know, we say Sparta Prague really have dominated.
I don't think it was actually. Tell you what, Mitchell was a little bit slow.
Yeah, Sparta Prague really have dominated Czech football, and you only have to go through the list of league titles they've won. And since it's been the Czech Republic as opposed to Czechoslovakia, 94, 95, 97, 98, 99 and 2000. Pretty dominant.
Pretty solid.
And pretty dominant even before then, but that's where it becomes really, really impressive. 84, 85, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 93. And of course Czechoslovakia stopped being Czechoslovakia.
There's the referee, Mr. Stefano Bracci from Italy.
And I guess to some extent as well, I mean, it's a sign of the changing times in this part of the world that the stadium's called the Toyota Arena.
Exactly, just extra commercialism getting into the game of football. Of course, it is so important. Once again, good ball there from Jarosic. So important for these teams to get the finances right. I think it's for any club. Jarosic trying to get the ball forward. Stan Pavon clearing for Real Madrid. And Morientes battling away by the touchline, but just knocked off the ball there by Hasek. Bright start from the home side.
Yeah, and that's what they wanted to do, of course. They can come out, try and put some pressure on Madrid. Obviously, Madrid are always going to suffer much more away from home than they are at the Santiago Bernabeu. And there is, especially in the first game of the group, there's a real sense of trying to put pressure on them.
Exactly. Whoever wins a game like this just gets an enormous boost. Once again, Hierro winning the ball in the air. Pavon out wide. Mo Flack back. Slightly skied there by the youngster Francisco Pavon. And there is Rebic. So the crowd certainly in good voice here in the Toyota Arena. Makalele helping out in defence, but Sparta still pressuring. Zidane in there. There's Hasek trying to get things moving, and Hupschmann out to Flatbart. Vicente del Bosque there on the left in the Real Madrid dugout, the man with a moustache.
Yeah, and Tony Grande next to him, the man without the moustache.
That's an incredibly long throw there, but Iker Casillas was equal to it, tried to get Luis Figo moving, saw the space for Figo, but just rushed into that a little bit and gives away the throw-in. But 5 minutes gone here in Prague, and it's Prague 0, Real Madrid 0.
Good voice, they're in very good voice.
Certainly are. Those 18,700 fans, this arena. Morientes controlling on his chest to Zidane. Back to Roberto Carlos. Ooh, that's a little bit careless, just. Selling Elguera a bit short, but here Salgado, Makalele getting things moving for Real Madrid. And there's Luis Figo, as always, linking with Salgado on the overlap. Salgado looks up, takes a little deflection, and there, Peter Cech in the Sparta goal.
Big, strong goalkeeper, isn't he, Peter Cech? Very sure handling.
Very promising future ahead of the youngster. Ivan Elguera. So just selling Figo a wee bit short there. And there was Labant to get there.
Yeah, he was very quick to get in, wasn't he, Labant?
And then Mikhailik was also pressing the left-sided midfielder. Jarosic just dispossessed by Claude Makalele. Raul, lovely little 1-2. There he is collecting the ball. Roberto Carlos back to Raúl and Ivan Helguera in the supporting role. But just after just 7 minutes of this game, just probably want to get a couple of minutes of possession. They've had to withstand some early pressure from Sparta.
Yeah, they'll want to just sort of step onto the ball a little bit and just, as you say, just take the pressure off, keep the possession.
As Luis Figo brought down. It was Mikhailic, the guilty party, but Peter Cech once again collecting the free kick. He was looking for Lucas Hartig, but the striker with the number 12 on his back couldn't get to it. Here's Zinedine Zidane. Looking for Morientes, but just getting a little bit too much on that pass.
Yeah, he just overhit it, didn't he? But Zidane's finding his feet. He's starting to play well for Madrid. It looks good. It looks good for Madrid this year. They've developed a nice system, good balance between creative players and those who hold on to the team. And I think particularly the introduction of Ivan Helguera alongside Claude Makélélé, which Del Bosque didn't seem completely convinced by at the start.
He liked playing with just Makélélé as a single midfielder, but he's switched to the more traditional, what most teams are using now, the double pivot, and it just gives Madrid that extra control, and of course being able to bring in Zidane, they then have that extra creativity in there as well, which makes a huge difference. There is Ivan Helguera.
And obviously Zidane nominally playing on the left-hand side, but he really doesn't. He drifts all over the place. And the advantage that Vicente Del Bosque has, and he's admitted this himself, is that you can play Zidane on the left-hand side and he doesn't need to stick wide because you've got a guy like Roberto Carlos who covers the entire wing on his own.
There is Roberto Carlos already in the Sparta half. And Zidane, meanwhile, popping up on the far right of the pitch.
Which says it all about that nominal left-sided position of his.
It also makes it very hard for teams to mark him. Luis Figo thought about the shot there, as it was just took the extra touch. There's a ball with Mikhailic, but Makélélé gets in there to block. Sparta clearing it now, but Roberto Carlos in defence. Makélélé to Zidane. Zinedine Zidane just gets it behind Raúl, and Sparta trying to break. Salgado had to make the clearance. And there's Hartig looking to take on Roberto Carlos. It's with Flakbart. Back with Hartig. Roberto Carlos getting ahead of the striker, and the decision given Real Madrid's way. We've had 10 minutes here in Prague. It's still Sparta Prague 0, Real Madrid 0.
Yeah, Hartig doesn't look. I wonder if maybe it's his jaw, because he seems to be making funny faces with his mouth. I think as if his jaw's been slightly knocked. Just colliding into the back of Roberto Carlos as he turned inside him to go after the ball. Exactly.
Helguera to Roberto Carlos, back with Makélélé. The Madrid players all wearing gloves on a cold night here in Prague. Helguera just showed a wee bit too much of that to Kinkel. And there's Raúl back helping out. Oh, lovely little flick from Roberto Carlos. Tried it again. Perhaps he was asking a bit too much, just allowing Jarosic and Hasek to crowd him out. And in the end, Roberto Carlos concedes the free kick. Well won in the air. Makélélé able to bring it out, it's given away. There's Hasek crossing it in. Pavon gets up, still Sparta pressurising. Roberto Carlos sliding in with Jarosic. And the ball breaking nicely for Zidane.
Helguera over on the left-hand side, slightly surprising position for him to take up.
Raúl was making the run down the line, but Helguera decided to go inside. And the ball is back with Flakbart. Makélélé. A little bit of space now for Madrid to work into. Zinedine Zidane. Raul just helping it on. This is better from Madrid. Zidane just trying to set Morientes away, but the ball nearly dropped kindly for Raul, who'd continued his run. And here comes Sparta again.
It's been a
very entertaining
back and forth sort of opening, hasn't it?
Opening 12 minutes, very entertaining. No chances as yet, though. But both sides showing good attacking ambitions. Is Flakbart. Already shown he can launch in a long throw, the number 5.
Yeah, they've been very, very direct, Sparta Prague. They've got the ball down, particularly on the 2 wings, and they've really, really gone for Madrid. But as you say, they haven't yet created good chances. But what they've done is they've shown a dynamism and a directness and a pace that could well cause Madrid problems.
They've put the ball into the right areas, haven't they? They've tried to get it across.
Yeah, they have.
There's that Roberto Carlos flick again. He spoiled it perhaps by going for the second and third attempt.
Yeah. It was a repeat offender, wasn't he? I mean, because the first time he got away with it, nice flick, and the second time he was just.
I think at the end, you do something like that twice, and the defender and the player you're up against thinks, mate, you're not getting past me one way or another.
One way or the other, mate. You are going down.
Lavant. To Novotny. It's an international with the Czech Republic. How very, very, very quickly Roberto Carlos, perhaps just a little bit too quickly.
He's moving very, very well tonight, Roberto. I mean, he always does, but he looks very, very sharp this evening. And as you say, almost a bit too much so there.
As Raul back in his own half, he can only flick it onto Lavant. Comes Mikhailic. Good challenging from
Figo. Very good
way back. Flakbart. Got a little bit of confusion there, but there was Fernando Hierro. Who else to deliver that solid clearance? We've had 14 minutes here in Prague, and it's still Sparta Prague 0, Real Madrid 0. And a game that's had real pace about it.
Yeah, it has. It's really promising, isn't it? It looks like we could have a really good up and down sort of game on our hands.
Mikhailic again. To Hartig, good turn from Hartig, and it's well blocked by Salgado, and Hierro once again.
Dealt with it very well actually in the end.
It's bounced up nastily,
didn't it? It did bounce up nastily, yeah.
Back with Lavant. Deep cross, that's a little bit too deep though, and Roberto Carlos will probably be quite happy to see that one out for throw-in.
Yeah, Sionko was behind him, but Roberto Carlos wasn't going to take the risk of bringing the ball down and trying to play it long, even though he did have a fair bit of time.
Great control from Zidane. Still Zinedine Zidane sends it back to Roberto Carlos, who clears it long. Good cushioned header from Novotny. For the moment, we did just slightly on the back foot after the first quarter of an hour. But we thought Sparta would have to go for try for a bright start. Play on, says the referee. Zinedine Zidane has the ball. Luis Figo. Salgado to Claude Makalele. Elguera, Madrid just trying to keep a bit of possession, keep things moving. And of course, if Madrid do get the ball and start moving it around, that's when they will start to see a few holes appear in the Sparta defence.
And then and the aim will then be just to pick them off, not necessarily to really go for the juggler, but to play the ball, keep possession, look for those gaps, and try and take advantage when they appear.
Roberto Carlos thundering a shot against Flakbart.
Good attempt to set them free, but just not enough really from Prague. They've used the ball very well. I've been very, very impressed by the two in the middle, Hasek and Jarosic so far. They've opened the pitch out nicely. Yeah. They've got good width as well, Sparta Prague. Both the fullbacks pushing on.
There is Jarosic, the blonde number 20. He's been very active, not just in the middle as well. He's also pulled out to the left and the right. He's been covering a lot of ground. There's Roberto Carlos. Zidane looking for the little flick and wins the foul for dangerous play. A little bit of a high foot there given by the referee Stefano Branchi. It's Peter Cech.
Shrugged-shouldered style, hasn't he? His head seems to be further forward than his body because he's all leaning forward, but he's a very, very good goalkeeper.
Big, tall keeper.
And he can hit the ball as well.
It's a long clearance, isn't it? Fernando Hierro having to really battle there with Kinkel, the number 9. Hasek. To Flakbart. We've seen a lot of Flakbart early on as well. The right back, and that's not a bad ball across the area. That was sent across by Hartig. But the Madrid defence, with Elguera dropping back into that defence when needed, were able to deal with it.
We've seen a few things that have been tactically relatively interesting, as you say. I mean, one is that Prague are getting a lot of width, particularly with the two fullbacks. You say Flakbart on one side and Labant on the other, and then you've got Ivan Elguera dropping right in to that defence when Madrid need it. I mean, Madrid at times look like they've got a line of 5 back there.
But that's the flexibility that a player like Ivan Elguera does give you, of course. Started his career at Albacete, then moved to Roma. Didn't play much at Roma. Went to Espanyol, where he had a great season, and Madrid snapped him up. And ever since, he's been a fixture, Ivan Elguera.
Yeah, he's been excellent for them.
The only question about Elguera is which is his best position, in central midfield or central defence.
Yeah, and he gives very, very good service in both.
This is more likely from Madrid. A good flowing move. Figo! Czech half gets there.
Morientes couldn't hold it.
Quite direct his shot goalwards. First real warning from Real Madrid just after 18 minutes. Figo, Salgado and company combining in a very nice move, and Czech scrambles the ball away there. So that is Hierro, Makalele. Takes the return pass from Zidane. Makalele to Luis Figo, now back helping out a bit deep. Pavon. Great cross from Figo, and I thought at first he'd made a mistake, but he was at full stretch there, Czech. Zidane! Zinedine Zidane puts Real Madrid ahead on 19 minutes. That just came from absolutely nowhere.
It did come from nowhere. I think it took a deflection as well before it went in. Zinedine Zidane was onto the ball quick, and importantly as well, released his shot very, very quickly.
It did seem to take a strange sort of...
very quick.
Controls it really quickly, doesn't he?
Quickly he releases the shot.
I don't know if it does take a deflection.
If it doesn't, it certainly takes a sort of slightly strange trajectory, isn't it? It was a good save from Chekhov Morientes.
It's hard to see, isn't it?
Going to Zidane.
It does. It goes off number 5, Flakbart.
Just looped up and went beyond Czech.
Made it impossible for Czech, but it's the speed that Zidane's onto that. And, basically the way he controls, fires off the shot, and that's what really made the goal.
Couldn't have produced a better lob if he'd tried. I mean, Petr Cech wasn't very far off his line, but the deflection, the deflection from Flakbart did just enough to lift it over Cech and put it into the corner. It's a great start for Real Madrid, considering they've been under the cosh.
Indeed, they were just promising a little bit with that Figo cross over to Morientes, and then of course Morientes just having the shot in the lead up to the Zidane goal. But they'll be very happy with that because they have had to withstand a bit of a storm from Sparta.
They'll be delighted with that. Very, very pleased indeed.
And Zinedine Zidane, with that deflected shot, has given Real Madrid the lead on 20 minutes. And now Sparta will just have to keep calm, because what they don't want to do is start rushing, losing their head and really going for Real Madrid, because that could open up spaces and see take the game beyond them.
Exactly.
Because this Real Madrid, you just can't imagine any team getting back from 2 goals down against Madrid.
No, that would be one hell of a result if that was to happen. Of course, Zinedine Zidane's first goal in the Champions League for Real Madrid.
Of course. It's Hubschmann bringing the ball forward for Sparta. Good run. Obstructed by Makalele.
Yeah, Makalele just closed off his route, didn't he?
Just Make sure the central defender's not going any further. Definitely French midfielder who is so important for Madrid, working away, winning possession, and then just keeping things moving with straightforward, simple passes. Ball's curled in. Pavon got up there, appeals from the crowd. Interestingly, nothing from the Sparta players.
No, there was exactly. There was no one near to it who was appealing for it.
Roberto Carlos finds Morientes' head, but Morientes does well to reach it, but there's nowhere he could really direct that header. And the Sparta Pro coach, Mr. Pribic, directing his troops. Apart from the goal, I would have thought he'd be reasonably happy with what he's seen.
I'm sure he will. I'm sure he'll be very happy with what he's seen. As you say, that I mean, the result really clouds everything else, and sometimes teams can play well and lose, and obviously play poorly and win, and that can overshadow what goes on the pitch. So far, as I say, in terms of the play, he'll be very, very happy with what Sparta have produced.
Started the result, in terms of the result, rather less. So here's Peter Cech, beaten by Zinedine Zidane on 20 minutes, the young Sparta goalkeeper. Luis Figo. Oh, that's brilliant from Zidane. And that's a thundering effort against the bar. My word, Fernando Morientes. Great understanding with Zidane, and all of a sudden, Madrid just find that extra bit of class.
Yeah, fantastic little pass from Zidane, saw the gap. And Morientes racing for it. It's not the kind of chance Morientes normally gets. He's more of a get on the end of crosses sort of player than a get onto the end of through balls sort of player. But that's a fantastic hit.
Hit it really hard, Morientes.
I mean, obviously in that position, you probably do expect him to score. But when you strike the ball that cleanly and it comes off the post, you're talking a matter of inches away from it being a brilliant finish. So
there's two sort of alternatives in that position, aren't there? You either whack it like Morientes did, and he hit it really hard, or you wait for the keeper and try and just chip them.
Yeah.
And the sort of play Morientes is Zidane again, and Peter Cech out quickly. He's always more likely to go for the just check with his foot, I think accidentally. He's always, here we see it again, lovely through ball from Zidane, and Morientes takes it in his stride, hits it first time, and it's unlucky. The only other thing, I think maybe what Raul would have done, perhaps, would have gone for the chip.
Raul certainly would have gone for the chip, because the way he plays, he's so adept at robbing the ball, particularly in that sort of inside left channel. But it's a good hit from Morientes. Yes, he probably should have scored, but when it's coming back off the post, you really can't criticise him too much.
Great pass from Zinedine Zidane, once again just showing what he's all about. But Madrid have now got some defending to do as Labant strides forward to take the corner, with his side trailing 1-0. Thanks to that goal from Zidane on 20 minutes. 5 minutes ago. Decent corner, and I think it was
Jarosik, wasn't it, getting up, I think. Good leap, and having got there, he might have done a little better.
Jiri Jarosik. But Iker Casillas is yet to be forced into a save. So we've had 25 minutes here in the Toyota Stadium in Prague. More neat work from Hartig. Looking to get the ball across, but they've used the wings very well. Roberto Carlos. Nice was flag went up. I think Roberto Carlos might have... That's for offside. I wasn't sure because Roberto Carlos stuck out a hand, actually.
Yeah, I know, I think you're right. Very good work from Hartig in the middle.
But now the offside is there, and it's Stonko, I think.
Yeah, although I just like how they could have been playing him onside.
Roberto Carlos cutting out the ball down the line. Makalele. Madrid unable to keep the ball in there on the far side. Morientes had come back into his own half to help out. There's another little chance for Sparta. It's gone back to a different type of challenge they're actually posing Madrid, isn't it, Sparta? They're sending a lot of long diagonal balls in there, to test Euro, young Stefan Paco Pavon, and of course that's why I think Elguera's getting back into that area.
Exactly, and not least because Elguera's very, very strong in the air, and he's just adding his not just his height and his ability in the air, but also his presence to that line. And it is a different kind of challenge from the one Madrid are used to. It's not too many teams in Spain play like this.
Where would you get put to play against football like this? Possibly Pamplona,
possibly
Pamplona,
possibly in Bilbao, although they're a better football side than that. Yeah, it's not the kind of thing Madrid normally have to face, and Sparta have been pretty impressive. The trouble is that
they are losing one until it could have been two if Morientes had just had a bit more luck with that finish. Francisco Pavon is looking very assured again.
Yeah, he's a very, very good centre back.
Roberto Carlos, a little bit slack that time from Pavon. He's allowed Jarosic in.
Oh, lovely skill.
Good work there from the midfielder. Jarosic got the shot in. It's dropped. There's Hasic once again.
Jarosic blocked Hasic's shot,
but they can't get the ball. They've had a few shots, but they can't get them past that area. It's almost like there's a bit of a wall at the outside of the Madrid penalty area in here. This is where Madrid are dangerous. Attacking. Here's Luis Figo. Zidane. Akalele providing the cover. Just slipped there with Akalele, but Zidane. Oh. Brilliant little bit of skill there from Zidane. Just looked to be under pressure and just created some space.
Fantastic.
Just like that.
Fantastic.
Roberto Carlos. Figo over on the left now. Raúl. Morientes. Can he turn Morientes? He can, and that's also not very far away.
Not far away at all.
It's a good turn from Morientes. He turns in the bottom of it and he lines up the shot, and he got good contact on that, and that was woof. Yeah. That was only about a foot away from the post.
The one thing that Morientes perhaps didn't do in the turn was ever get himself actually face on. He never quite turned all the way, although he turned obviously far enough to get a really good shot, but he just didn't go for it.
Here's Hartig again against Pavon. Fernando seemed to just slip there, and Pavon rushing into that one. No penalty, says the referee, and there's the equaliser.
Mechanic, I
think so, yeah, it is the number 10. And just got themselves into a little bit of trouble there, Madrid.
Slipped twice, didn't they? Then there was a possible penalty.
No, I think it was a penalty from Pavon, but
it's a good, clean finish. And they have to put their blankets back on now, the guys on the bench, because they've all jumped off in delight.
Mikhailik.
You can see there's virtually no chance. Straight through Salgado's legs. Great pull, actually. Really, really conscious, deliberate pull back. Where there's space, with just taking the pace off the ball.
I don't think that is a penalty. Pavon gets in there, and it just drops nicely to Sionko. Intelligent ball across the area. They were a bit unlucky at the beginning of that move, though, because Fernando Hierro had the ball almost under control. He just slipped at the wrong moment. Perhaps Pavon had a little bit of inexperience there.
Yeah.
But what shot of Izzy on the half hour? It's Sparta Prague 1, Real Madrid 1 with Mikhailik equalising, cancelling out Zidane's 20th minute goal.
And they've been good value for it, I think, Prague.
They played nicely, yeah. Hierro keeping his feet. And Pavon getting a clearance in. Madrid's turn to bring the ball out.
Great touch from
Zidane. They expect something special from Zidane, and that's a good pass looking for Roberto Carlos, who has the pace to get in on the back of it, but
yeah, I think he just pushed that part in the back, didn't he?
Just penalised by the referee, Roberto Carlos.
It's a nice clean hit, that, isn't it? That said, any movement either side, it probably would have hit Micho Salgado on one of his two legs, as it is. It went straight between them. Great cross. It's a great cross because it's so deliberate. That's why, and it takes all the pace out of it, just clips it over. Sat up quite nicely as well. Mikhailik made no mistake at all.
Once again, another huge clearance there from Peter Cech. And Elguera forced to clear that one for a throw-in. Flak Bart will I'm sure try and hurl this one into the Madrid penalty area. It's going to be a busy night for the Madrid central defence tonight.
Yeah, they've got a lot of height, this Sparta Prague team.
Once again, that's cannoned in there, isn't it? Salgado able to control, just gives it to Luis Figo. That's what Madrid do very well, isn't it? They get it, pass it in the midfield, bump, 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 just back to the defence.
Yeah. And you know, they open space, they force the other side to chase the ball for a little bit.
And they just gain themselves a little bit of time just to organise, get into position.
Exactly, they gain time, they gain tranquility, and they gain confidence because they give themselves the sense that they can do more of it. And then, of course, you do a few passes, produce a few passes like that, which don't take you anywhere, but it gives you possession. And then the next time you produce a few passes like that, it takes you that little bit further, and the whole game just.
And all of a sudden, you're in the edge, at the edge of the area, and Zidane or Figo just produces that killer pass.
Yeah.
Michel Salgado back to Fernando Hierro. They've just done it again there. Makelele just giving it to Salgado. Hierro's got no opposition play within 10 yards of him, just able to look up, passes it to Ivan Helguera.
Well, that's one of the other reasons why Helguera and Makelele are so important, not just because they break up the opposition attacks, but because they're very important outlets, not for clever moves, just for keeping the possession.
Great run there. Roberto Carlos fires that one across, and defender got there with his chest. That was brave defending. But once again, that's what we're saying. They kept the ball, they took the possession. Helguera got a little bit lucky, but then
nudged themselves bit by bit further up the pitch, and then, as you say, it's
the killer pass.
Yes, yeah.
Didn't quite work out this time because
great run from Figo.
I'm not sure what it was. It might have been Hubschmann, just got his chest in the way. Brave defending, it has to be said. There's it. Fernando Hierro to Zidane, just through the middle.
Plays Zidane. Again, finds space when there just doesn't seem to be any.
Salgado, Makelele. Here is Zinedine Zidane on the left. Just took a little bit too long that time. They allowed Hartig to get the interception in. Hasek and Jarosic.
What a good player Jarosic is. He's been really, really busy. He's used the ball well. He's started attacks. He's broken up Madrid's attacks, as you can see there, or he's tried to.
This is a great run from Figo, isn't it? I think that's what is surprising about Figo, is how strong he is on the ball there.
Yeah, and how he manages to ride 2 or 3 challenges without hitting the deck. It's that determination, isn't it, to get to the ball.
Yep. There he is again, Figo, opening it up for Michel Salgado. And Makelele just skips past Hartig. Fernando Hierro decides that safety first is the best option there. As we're just approaching 35 minutes here in Prague. It's been a pretty dynamic 35 minutes. So far it's 1-1. Zinedine Zidane putting Madrid ahead with his first Champions League goal for the club on 20 minutes. But Sparta Prague battling back and equalising with Mikalik on the half hour. Easy free kick to see us, and the defence well organised there. Zidane, Roberto Carlos, Makelele. That's a good, brilliant goal from Morientes, Fernando Morientes, and Real Madrid. Great team goal.
Fantastic, carved open Sparta Prague, and carved open by very few teams can play the kind of football
to get to the ball to begin with.
It's a lovely pass to him.
Brilliant pass from Raul, and there's Salgado. But look, he starts off behind.
He beats Lavant for pace. It's an excellent delivery. And Morientes is cleverer than it seems there, because he's not very far out. But if he just hit that, Czech was coming across and might well have stopped it. Instead, he lifted it.
Made himself big, didn't he, Czech? But, you know, Morientes just putting the height on that. There's not really a lot the keeper can do about it. So, 36 minutes. Real Madrid go back in the lead, and you wonder about the psychological effect of that goal. You know, Sparta have worked really hard. They got back into it with Mikalic's goal. But 6 minutes later, Madrid just turn it on again and take the lead again. Corner for Sparta.
second time there's been a big penalty appeal from the crowd and absolutely none from the Sparta players.
As Sionko put the ball across. Casillas urging maximum concentration as Labant goes over to take the corner. It's going to be an in-swinging corner from the left back. Got some height on that. A little bit too much height. There was nobody there on the far post for Sparta Prague.
He got a lot of height on it. He also got it to dip again very sharply. Had it been a little bit further towards the goal, as you say, when it went to far post and no one was there, it would have been a very difficult corner to deal with for Casillas, because it's a nasty very one, quick, and it really did dip sharply.
Now here's the left back Lavant, just beaten for pace by Michel Salgado though in that second goal over a minute ago. Really did show a good turn of speed, Michel. Zidane. Raul working deep. He's got Roberto Carlos making the run. There he is, Raul finding the left back. He's forced back though by the Sparta pressure. And Madrid just once again willing to keep possession, take the sting out of the game a little bit. Salgado to Zidane. Well robbed by Jadosic. Gidi Jadosic. On to Hasek. Good cross, but Pavon was in the right place. Forced into some defending, Madrid. From Salgado back well. Hartig looking to take on the Madrid defence. Did he run that one out? Yes, he did. Good defending by Madrid on two occasions there. They were well organised. One line in the box, one outside it. Each time the ball came in, it was met by a Madrid header. Yeah,
and then when Hartig tried to wriggle free, he was pressured by two players, little pack of two players, which were Figo and Michel Salgado, and then Zidane as well. Then joined in, just a pack of them to force him out.
And that's a foul. Luis Figo's been very active, Figo. He's played a slightly more inside role tonight, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. Drifted in, looking for space, looking to pick the ball up.
That's no question about that. It was the Sparta goal scorer, Mikhailic. And Figo still a little bit of pain there on the pitch.
And Hierro picked him up as if to say,
come on.
It does look like he's very uncomfortable, Figo.
I wonder if he's caught him on the inside of the knee. That can sometimes just leave you a little bit numb. Hasek. As we're just going into the last 5 minutes of the first half. The score here in the Toyota Stadium in Prague. The Toyota Arena, as it's officially known, is Sparta Prague 1. The goal scored by Mikhailic on 30 minutes, but Madrid with goals either side of that. Zinedine Zidane on 20 minutes and Fernando Morientes on 36 are leading by 2-1. Roberto Carlos gets his left foot up to that one. Raul turns, space for Raul. Luis Figo. Well defended by Levant.
Fans are still in good voice.
Ivan Elguera. Roberto Carlos is chipping that one in. It's well met by Hubschmann. Still with Madrid.
Yeah, they've just started to take a little bit of control of the possession, Real Madrid. They had a very tough 15 or 20 minutes to start with. Then they got the goal, looked a bit more comfortable, but still Sparta were pushing on. Now Madrid just starting to look a little bit happier, aren't they?
It's the thing, isn't it? Madrid asks so many questions of sides during a game or during a 45 minutes that the logical thing is in the last 10 minutes of a half, they just start to wear them out, and that's of course when they find those extra spaces and when they quite often kill opponents off. It's amazing how many goals Madrid score in the last 10 minutes of each half.
Yeah, exactly.
Makelele.
So it is that it takes such concentration to
unlucky Luis Figo seemed to have just skipped past. I'm not sure if it was actually Hartig back in defence there. He just skipped past him there, Figo. Still Mitchell Salgado. But Makelele was there to snuff off any chance of a counter-attack from Sparta Prague. Not really seen much of, considering how they've had the ball, not seen a lot of number 9, Kinkle.
No, not seen enough of him at all, considering, as you say, they had a lot of the ball, they've attacked a lot. When Sparta Prague have attacked, it's really been Hartig and Mikhailik. Mikhailik on the left, Hartig up front, with those two central midfielders, particularly Jarosic, but also Hasic coming through. We've not seen a huge amount of Sionko, and as you say,
seen a good bit of this man here, Mitchell Salgado, set up the second goal for Real Madrid with a lovely run into the area and a pinpoint cross from Morientes. He threatened to do it again there. This time the cross wasn't quite right, but he does love to put that little bend on the ball when he gets it, which makes it a joy for the strikers to run onto.
He also has a habit, Mitchell Salgado, and I think it's very positive for strikers, and I actually think too many wingers don't do it. He has a real habit of putting the ball across the area low.
Fernando Hierro just turning, looking for a pass, opens it out to Salgado. We've just got 2 minutes of normal time left here in the Toyota Arena. Real Madrid will be very happy to go in at the break with this 2-1 lead, thanks to their goals from Zidane and Fernando Morientes. Mikhailik. And once again there's Jarosic making a positive run, although great defending again from Makelele.
Does cover a lot of ground, doesn't he, Jarosic?
It's been very impressive in this opening 45 minutes for Sparta Prague. Morientes gets that one back to Roberto Carlos.
Great touch from Roberto Carlos as well.
He gets a little round of applause from the Sparta fans, which is always a good sign. Ivan Elguera to Figo. So in that last minute of normal time. Mitchell Salgado taking the throw in. Once again on the overlap, Salgado, and he's got in there again, but just couldn't quite get to the ball. He was a bit unlucky because
very unlucky.
Because I think it was Novotny who came across to cover. Of course, Salgado had to just chip it over him, and the ball just running away there from the Real Madrid fullback.
Yeah, he gives really good thrust, doesn't he, down the line, Mitchell Salgado. Because I mean, it's an attacking team anyway. But if your fullbacks are overlapping, it makes it even harder for the opposition, in this case Sparta Prague, to pick you up.
Hierro got up well over Kinkle, and now Zidane attacking for Real Madrid as the referee decides that he has seen enough. No injury time at all, I don't think, here in the Toyota Arena, which means that after 4 seconds of injury time, which means that after 45 minutes and 4 seconds of football, the score here in Prague is Sparta Prague 1. The goal scored by Mikhailik. Real Madrid 2. Zinedine Zidane's first goal in the Champions for Madrid, and Fernando Morientes. Looks like it's going to be an entertaining second half. We will be back soon. Hello and welcome back to the Toyota Arena in Prague. Real Madrid winning 2-1 at the break. Very entertaining 45 minutes football. Madrid taking the lead thanks to goals from Zinedine Zidane and Fernando Morientes. In the middle of those two, Mikhailik equalised for Sparta, but Morientes' goal 5 minutes afterwards seemed to knock a little bit of stuffing out of the side from the Czech Republic.
Yeah, it did, and I think it's been quite interesting, the difference in styles between the two sides. Sparta Prague have had lots and lots of drive. They've really gone for Madrid, but they've just lacked that little clarity of ideas, of vision that Madrid have had. Madrid have picked them off twice. All right, one was a deflective shot, but it was off a really nice move, and the other from a superb move down the right-hand side. And you just think, Sparta perhaps lack that tiny bit of quality compared to Madrid, but they're a good side, and Jarosik in particular,
number 20
has
in midfield,
really impressed me. He's been very good indeed.
Madrid looking, of course, for a positive, well, both sides looking for a positive start for their campaign in the second stage of the group phase of the Champions League. The teams that win this get into the quarterfinals.
Yep.
And that's when it becomes really interesting.
Yeah, and then the other teams in the group, Panathinaikos and Porto, playing each other tonight as well in Greece. So obviously you'd expect if a side is going to come out of that with 3 points, Panathinaikos, but it's very evenly balanced. It's a group that Madrid would be reasonably happy with a draw, I think.
Certainly not the hardest group there is. You get to this stage here very quickly. Raul and Peter Sek.
Good save.
Getting down well.
As you say,
the young Sparta keeper.
Not the hardest group there is, Group C. I mean, you look at Group B, for example. Barcelona, Liverpool, Roma, Galatasaray, who've had an excellent record in recent years. There's always a group of death, as people want to call it, and it could well be Barca's group.
So Madrid just trying to keep a little bit of control of the game in the opening stages of the second half. The first 15 minutes saw them under pressure from Sparta. And I'm sure Sparta, who need a goal to get back into this thing, are going to have the same idea in mind. It's Flakbart, the right back, he's got forward, hasn't he? He's got a very long throw.
Yeah.
Although that
interesting.
It was a very short throw.
It's indicative of how much he's got forward, but we've seen far more of him than we've seen of Sionko, who in theory is playing just in front of him. So just to add, by the way, to Barcelona, Liverpool, Roma, Galatasaray, very tough group, Group B. But Group D for death. Bayer Leverkusen, Deportivo La Coruña, Arsenal and Juventus.
You wouldn't want that, would you?
And in that sense,
there is Flatback showing that long throw, but Fernando Hierro up brilliantly to win the header. Back with Labant chipping the ball in, and Iker Casillas coming off his line. Makes the claim to deny Hartig.
It's a good claim, particularly as he held on to it as he hit the floor. But I mean, in that sense, you know, that's why Panathinaikos, Sparta Prague and Porto will all be looking at this and thinking,
we've got a chance.
We've got a chance of getting through here.
Because it's another one of those sort of groups where they'll be looking at it, and I suppose it's one of the, you'll be thinking, well, we'll be unlikely to get anything from the Santiago Bernabéu.
Yes.
What it could well come down to, you know, Madrid are clear favourites, is who can get what off Real Madrid at home.
Yes, exactly. Whether teams can pick up a draw or possibly even sneak a victory against Real Madrid.
Certainly, if a team can beat Real Madrid in their home ground, that gives them a huge advantage in getting to quarters. Let's be honest.
I guess to some extent, maybe in that sense, Panathinaikos will feel like they have a slight advantage. A, because they have an incredibly intense set of fans, and B, because they play Real Madrid last. By which time, if all things go the way that prognosis suggests, Madrid might well already be through.
It's still a long way ahead, though.
And there's still a very good chance of Prague getting something out of this game. They've played very well so far.
Talking about atmospheres, there's a great atmosphere in the Toyota Arena. It's only 18,700 crowd, but they're right on top of the pitch, and it's making a good atmosphere.
Yes, it is. It is.
Roberto Carlos to Zidane. Roberto Carlos, now Elguera getting forward in support, looking to chip the ball over. Makelele doing well, sets it up for Salgado, who's been an effective attacking force tonight, the Madrid right back. What is their setup? Morientes for Madrid's second of the night. As Luis Figo seems to have shaken off the knee problem that he had earlier on in the first half. He got clattered by, I can't remember who it was, it might have been Jarosic. And was limping quite badly for a while, but he's okay again, Figo. Hierro winning that one, just playing simple passing to Morientes, to Makelele, and there Morientes battling it out with Hubschmann and losing out. Free kick given, foul on Sionko. A little bit unlucky there, Zidane doesn't actually put the foot in. I think Sionko catches him just above the knee.
Yeah, Zidane was trying to pull out and very clearly put his hands up as if to say,
oh, not doing anything.
But just, I think, the slightest of contacts.
There's the goal scorer, Mikalik. It's a good cross as well, and Casillas. Not at his most convincing there, Iker Casillas, with that cross. As it is, Roberto Carlos is able to bring the ball out.
That's a little flick that Roberto Carlos does time and time again, and always to good effect.
We've had 5 minutes of the second half. It is still Sparta Prague 1, Real Madrid 2. Zidane gets the ball across. Oh, brilliant move there. Morientes was unlucky not to add a second. Great reflexes from Sek.
Yeah, and it was all about reflex, wasn't it? It was just about how quickly Peter Cech reacted to that.
Zidane put the ball on a plate for Morientes, and he got a good contact. Almost a repeat of the second goal from the other side, although Morientes was actually, in fairness to him, a little bit closer in.
Yeah.
Salgado, Madrid looking for the third, which could well seal the result. Zidane. There's Hubschmann clearing it. Luis Figo just crowded out, weight of numbers there around Figo. And Hasek winning that. Finally, as he battles away with Figo, winning the free kick as well. It's a great cross from Zidane, because you can just see, looking at his foot, it isn't actually a shot.
No, it's not a shot. He is trying to pull it
And once
back.
again, Morientes does the right thing, looks to send it high, and this time Cech stands up, makes himself big. A substitution for Sparta. It's number 7, Zelenka, coming on for the goal scorer. Not quite sure why they've decided to take Mikalik off.
No, quite honestly, I'd have thought more about taking off Sionko. I mean, Zelenka perhaps a bit happier on the left, but still a little bit of a surprise.
He's made a good performance, Mikalik. Maybe just run himself into the ground. Scored the goal, took a well-taken left foot shot on 30 minutes. Roberto Carlos teasing the defender. It's Kinkel. Jarosic, the impressive Sparta midfielder, found a good shot there, but it didn't get. They've had a few shots, haven't they, Sparta, that have not actually got into the Madrid area.
Yeah, Madrid's. I mean, as you described it as a wall in the first half, it has been a bit like that, hasn't it? That there's been certainly a barrier of sorts, which Prague just haven't been able to get beyond with those shots from what are pretty good positions, actually. Just not being able to quite get beyond it.
Labant penalised there. It's foul on Luis Figo.
The sheer number of fouls that Luis Figo draws is incredible.
And of course, every time he gets a foul, it's a chance for him to put one of his pinpoint crosses into the area.
Although that
wasn't quite so pinpoint, but Francisco Pavon maybe just slightly at fault in the Sparta goal. Perhaps could have cleared it a little bit earlier.
Yeah, and both he and Fernando Hierro seem to slip. But I think Sparta were good value for that goal.
Oh yeah, they certainly tapped very brightly in the first half. Not quite got going so far in these first 9 minutes of the second half, but they'll need to, because they're trailing 2-1 to Real Madrid here. However, is Hartig attacking Madrid. He's got Pavon with him. He did very well there, Francisco Pavon. Did really well, showed good pace. Got the block in against Hartig, although he has had to concede a corner.
Well, it was a very, very good block, because, as you say, he showed very good pace, because Hartig was actually a good 2 or 3 metres ahead of him when he first set off. Pavon's not really renowned for being particularly quick, but he was in very, very sharply there.
Once again, Labant, the Sparta left back, goes over to take the corner. This one is taken short. Worked himself an angle to cross the ball into, loops it across there.
Good cross as well, and Jarosek wasn't far from it.
Morientes back in defence. Danger still not cleared for Madrid. Zidane does a good job just holding off. Oof. Hartig allows Roberto Carlos to pick up possession, and Roberto Carlos sending it down the line. Lovely pass there to Raúl. Zidane and Roberto Carlos again. And all of a sudden Madrid have got space in front of them. Here comes Luis Figo. Looks up, Figo crosses it, and that's just a little bit too long for Raúl, I think, who was on the end of that one. Neat pass from Hartig and Sionko. Looking to get into the area. And brought down by Pavon, says the referee. Italian referee tonight. I think there's a lot of contact from Pavon, but between him and Elguera just close the door, don't they, on Sionko, leaving with no space to put his legs. So there is Labant and the substitute Zelenka standing over the ball. Iker Casillas organising that wall. It's one of those that Labant, well, you'd think he'd be crossing it, but players can always think about just trying to surprise,
the near post, In
fact, that's what he did.
He'd have to do a lot better than that to surprise Casillas from there. And he might surprise him, but have enough time to recover.
Well, exactly. He didn't hit it that well, but I wonder, a similar situation, whether he might not be better using 3 men in the wall there, Casillas.
Yeah.
Because he didn't. No, but the wall didn't actually move, and he still found the gap. Vicente Del Bosque just trying to correct a few details. Jarosic. Good challenge from Pavon. The thing about this game is that it's been a hard, competitive game, but there's not actually been any bookings yet.
No, which is quite surprising. There's been 1 or 2 challenges that could have been worthy of a booking, nothing too untoward, no. And he's enjoying himself. He's telling someone about
I'm on television.
The game. Yeah, and well, they may well be telling him that he's on television.
Roberto Carlos decides to send that one back to Iker Casillas. And to be fair, Casillas, he was beaten on 30 minutes by Michailix, but he hasn't actually made a save.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't been forced to.
He's come out for a couple of crosses, flapped at one. But the measure of Iker is when he does well. He made a save from the free kick, I suppose. When he does have to do his job, he does it very, very well indeed.
Well, the thing with Iker is, as we've actually seen at the other end from Petr Cech tonight, his reaction speed is very, very good.
Makalele just pressured into making a little mistake, and that Zelenka picking up the throw-in, but Makalele recovering very well. Claude Makalele, as did Zelenka. Hasek.
Well, Fernando Hierro read that very, very well. Jarosek had just found himself the space, and it wasn't so much that the direction of the delivery was good, but it was good.
And it was hard as well.
How hard he hit it, Casillas not completely convincing there either.
It's a corner. That's Zelenka taking it. The near post, but that's gone over the bar. Little chance for Madrid to gain a respite from a short period of Sparta Prague pressure. Sparta, as we're just approaching the hour, just over a minute to go, losing 2-1 at home to Real Madrid. Madrid's goal scored by Zidane and Fernando Morientes.
I think I just heard
19,000.
19,156, and considering the official capacity is 18,700, there's a few people sneaked in here tonight.
Well, exactly. Or the guide may be wrong.
True.
There's Hartig and Roberto Carlos. I think the linesman's pointed to the corner flag. Not quite sure if the referee's given the free kick or not. Let's have a look at this. Well, one thing it isn't is a corner.
No. It's either a goal kick or a free kick. It's not a corner kick.
And it is the free kick, which the Italian referee has awarded Sparta Prague as we're just approaching the hour. Lavant once again taking it. Casillas, that's much better from Ika.
That's
dear.
not.
Lordy, that's gone into the second tier nearly from Zelenka. Good positive punch there from Ika Casillas at full stretch, got both hands on that one.
And a slightly less positive punt from Zelenka.
Well, I say he got a lot of power behind it.
Yeah.
As Vicente Del Bosque out of the dugout. I think he'd like to see Madrid play a little bit more of this game in the Sparta half at the moment.
Yeah, what Madrid haven't done, which they were doing in the last 15 minutes of the first half, is they really haven't got hold of possession very much this half. And they haven't... that said, Sparta haven't been as dangerous as they initially were at the start of the first half, but they haven't got control of the game quite as much as, well, anywhere near as much as they like, and quite as much as they'd expect. Sparta pushing Madrid back. Although, that said, Sparta still yet to create a really, really clear chance.
Exactly. And Madrid, of course, as they showed, all they need to do is string 3 or 4 passes together, it takes them forward 60 yards, and it's a chance. Here they come. Oh, unbelievable little bit of skill there from Zidane, almost zigzagging about the ball, and there is the cross. Peter Cech, full stretch himself, didn't really get a good punch on it, but got it far enough out, and Roberto Carlos didn't direct his shot as he would have liked. Well, that's all worked out with goal kick for Sparta Prague. Obviously, Roberto Carlos wasn't trying to concede a throw-in deep in the Sparta corner, but at least it does allow Madrid to keep the pressure on. Cech with the goal kick. And Zidane.
Great touch.
Here is Zidane. Oh, goodness gracious. Zidane with one of those pirouettes that we're starting to grow accustomed to.
Yeah, it's fantastic skill, and Zidane does it like no one else.
Now Luis Figo has the chance, gives it to Raul, but Raul tried the back heel for the onrushing Figo. It didn't quite work out. Now Jarosec setting through Zelenka. Chance for Sparta to attack. Is Hartig on the break? Hartig, Lucas Hartig! Ooh. Well, from one end to the other in about 5 seconds. I think it was Pavon who got the header in.
I think it was Pavon who got the header in. Hartig's been really, really mobile, hasn't he?
Important interception there from Pavon. He nearly put it in his own net, but he had to get there.
And just couldn't bring it back for Kinkel, who has still been a little quiet, considering how mobile Hartig's been.
It's Zelenka. Roberto Carlos just seemed to slip as he was clearing that one. Here is Kinkel. It's back with Hasek. Madrid clearing that one. And there Hubschmann getting the better of Raul. It's Figo again. It's given away because Madrid had a little bit of space to work in there. And it's up to Jarosec to attack. Jiri Jarosec tried his luck with that time, but didn't
Maybe
quite
he's trying to rival Roberto Carlos for that sending the ball into the corner route.
He's had a very, very good game so far after 63 minutes, Jarosec.
Oh, he's had an excellent game.
That wasn't a stellar moment. That was one of the stellar moments, though. A lovely turn from Zidane, which just takes him away from 2 players.
Wonderful skill. And you know, that wasn't actually the only good bit of skill of that move. He brought the ball down with such grace and such elegance, and that's the thing that really is striking about Zinedine Zidane is how graceful everything he does.
He's a big man. He's over 6 foot tall, and yet his balance is incredible.
Yeah, his balance is fabulous. And he's got huge feet. He doesn't look like the kind of guy who's going to be graceful, and yet
Roberto Carlos still only 2-1 to Madrid. This game is by no way safe against Sparta, who may not quite have the same power, same class in attack as Madrid, but have certainly shown a real willingness to have a go at them. Once again, Jarosec forcing a foul. And it's Figo just getting across him. "25 minutes left here, for 25 minutes of normal time in the Toyota Arena." As you can see, goals from Zidane and Morientes giving Madrid the lead. Ooh, a little bit lucky there, Hubschmann, as he surges forward, but it's not the first time he's done that. Still Sparta, it's Zelenka. Zelenka tried his shot, but once again, Sparta not getting those chances in the Madrid area.
No, exactly. I mean, they're playing a lot of good football. They're driving very well. They've got pace. They're quite direct, but they're not, as you say, they're not getting beyond the sort of 20, 22, 23 yard mark. I mean, they're just not getting into the Madrid area, basically.
There was Zelenka, tried his luck, but no problem there for Casillas, who's taken the goal kick. It's flicked on by Morientes, did well there Morientes, but it's straight out from the Sparta defence. Zidane once again, great control, lovely flick over the top. Zidane, he should get here. He did get there, but there Hasek was across very quickly to cover. Luis Figo jogging over to take the corner. Good corner from Figo, and Sekt opting to punch it.
Yeah, I thought he had time actually to catch that. I didn't think he needed to punch that away. A couple of tiny nervous moments. He's had a good game check, but there have been a couple of little moments like that.
He in some ways he's very similar to Casillas, isn't he? He's very, very quick.
Yeah.
Good reflexes, which he has which he displayed when he denied Morientes an almost repeat of the goal that he scored when Zidane got in on the left and crossed it low, and Sekt stood up really well.
Yeah, Morientes lifting his shot. I mean, it was very, very central, but Czech just reacted very quickly.
Here's Figo on the left. Great run from Luis Figo into the penalty area. He's gone down. The referee's thought about that, I think.
He seemed to take a sort of a long look at it, didn't he?
Yeah, which is good. I think the referee should have a good long look at these things.
Except, of course, the bizarre thing is, I mean, it happens. If you don't catch it, you don't catch it. But there was a sort of a concentration in his mind as of trying to slightly relive.
You can't wait too long, because otherwise nobody knows what you've blown. There, no question about that challenge from Flakbart.
He's not been in the game as much in the second half as he was in the first half.
Let's have a look at this run, though. It'll be interesting to see what happens, Figo.
Well, there's maybe a slight clip there. He's already slightly falling. I think that's why the referee...
It's in the area that he goes down.
Yeah,
though,
but I think that's why the referee perhaps didn't get it, because he felt perhaps that Figo was already stumbling forward and that it wasn't enough contact. It was just that Figo was kind of already half down. If
Zidane to Makalele. Claude Makalele thundered that shot in and just over the bar. He doesn't score many, Makalele.
That's why he's grinning so much, because he can't believe that he was even that close.
Lovely little flick from Zidane just to open him up. Brings it down, just bounces a tiny bit high for Makalele, but oof.
Was not far away, was it?
Sparta fans still in good heart. Flakbart down the line again for Sparta. It's a neat pass inside. Elguero did very well, and there, play on, says the referee. Jarosic's collecting after Figo's tackle on Labant. Oof, that's a spectacular shot. Now, he could just seem to hang in the air there to save that one, didn't he? Flagback pulled that one out from nowhere.
Yeah, and it's just a couple of minutes ago I said he hadn't got forward as much this half as he had in the previous one.
I don't think Ika saw that until late, and that's a spectacular hand he gets out there.
And you know, no sooner we said he wasn't doing all that much that he got forward on the move before, and now unleashes a fantastic shot.
I don't think that went from behind two players. I don't think Ika saw that until it had travelled about 15 yards. I don't think he'll have seen that one till late, and once again parried it brilliantly, Casillas. Zelenka whacked that one through a crowd of players, and all of a sudden Sparta asking a couple of questions of Ika Casillas.
Yeah, I mean, they're still not getting beyond that point, that territorial point we were talking about.
That's even better than I thought, because that gets a deflection.
And he went right between the two guys coming in on him. And then didn't actually make it, did he? But
I think that deflects off off Hierro. And it's going quickly, and it's 10 yards away, so
very
reacts, you know. And then the courage to go for the rebound, obviously. So we've got 20 minutes to go here in the Toyota Arena in Prague. It's Real Madrid Still winning 2-1, but Iker Casillas has just been called into action and responded fantastically on 2 occasions.
Yeah, and Prague, I think they can see the opportunity now. They're pushing for that a little bit more. The fans are that little bit more wound up. I mean, again, though, they're still not getting past that territorial point that we were talking about. But what they've done, by producing a couple of shots that have made Madrid worry, what they might do is force Madrid to come out to them to stop it a little bit more, and that could then open up a little bit of space behind. Some
fresh legs for Sparta. It's Hasek going off. A very tidy game in midfield, and he's being replaced by number 26, Slonsic. Slight lull in the atmosphere as Sparta keeping on the pressure. Labant going to take a long throw into the Madrid area. Hierro's up well, Elguera. And Casillas couldn't keep that one out. I think he saw it really, really late.
Well, he's seen the previous 2 late, but this time he couldn't react, could he?
Libor Sionko levelling the scores on 72 minutes. So they're just threatened in the last couple of minutes, Sparta.
All from that sort of angle. Again, I think it took another deflection. I think Casillas was going away from it.
Once again, it's through a crowd of players, it's low.
I think Pavon comes off. I mean, Zidane jumps at it, and then it seems to come through near Pavon. If it doesn't come off him, then certainly his attempt to block it maybe.
Let's have a look.
Doesn't hit Zidane.
It's Pavon, isn't it? He just gets a little foot on it, Francisco Pavon. I was going to say it takes. Yeah, his case has gone a little bit too far. It just beats him because of the deflection. So it does take a lot, something special to beat Casillas from that range, or a little bit of luck.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Sparta had there.
But they deserved a little bit of luck, because the previous 2 shots, similarly, Casillas reacted really well. He actually reacted okay on that, sticking out his leg, but he just couldn't.
That's impossible, isn't it? And, the fact is, with a little bit of luck, well, we're talking luck, either side could have had a bit more luck, and Casillas could have deflected that one wide. As it was, it just had the legs to get into the back of the net. But 18 minutes to go, and it's been a great game, actually. Fantastic, very entertaining game, and all to play for.
Yeah, I don't think either side will settle for the 2-2. Madrid, I think, would be happy to play and keep possession and look for a goal calmly. But I think Sparta will continue to pour forward.
What Madrid have to do is try and just keep a little bit of the ball.
Yeah, because they haven't done that actually this half.
There, and tell you what, each time Sparta have got back into the game, up has popped Fernando Morientes to break their hearts.
Yep.
Check, sticks out a leg, and there Morientes, typical striker's instinct.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Well, it's a great run from Roberto Carlos. Say, leapt away from the challenge, as you said, could have gone down, instead got the shot off. Morientes is there. But it's quite interesting as well for a guy whose role is to sit deep and just keep the game flowing and just prevent the other team playing. It was actually a little run from Claude Makelele that started that all off.
Referee gave a good advantage because Makelele was fouled. And there Roberto Carlos took advantage of it, got in. He said, for me, he seemed to be fouled by Slonsic, but it just shows a good attitude that he didn't want to go down.
Didn't want to go down, got a good shot off with his right foot. Quite often we've seen Roberto Carlos go for it with his right foot, and it's flown up into the stands miles from anywhere.
It's his weaker foot, but it's surprising. If you look at it, it's surprising. He does score a few with his right foot, and he didn't score that one, but Morientes, ever alert, just popped up. Thank you very much. 3-2 to Real Madrid, and that...
It seems almost incredible, doesn't it? Because when Sparta made it 2-2, you thought they're going to really push on now. Madrid going to have to weather a little storm. They just pop up there. It's almost as if they're scoring when they feel like scoring.
But the thing is, they've scored the 2 goals. Those last 2 goals, 2 Morientes goals, have come at exactly the right time. 6 minutes after the first equaliser, when Sparta were just threatening. They were playing well. They were pressing hard. Morientes knocked the wind out of the sails, and just then Sionko equalised on 72 minutes, and 2 minutes later, just when you think there's going to be still some work to do, up pops Morientes again.
When Sparta Prague hadn't even had time to get any wind into their sails, let alone have it knocked out of them. It was a superbly quick reaction from Morientes. Again, I mean, it's just he's loitering in the right place at the right time. Better check. just wonder if he might have done a little bit better, but he is full stretch, isn't he? With his
full stretch, and it's one of those it could have gone anywhere with clearance. It just happened to go to Morientes, who was in exactly the right time.
He had Levant alongside him, but just Levant just couldn't catch him.
Will Sparta be able to react for a third time? That's the big question. I mean, they've shown real character so far, but it's asking a lot to come back 3 times against Real Madrid.
Oh, I've no doubt they'll react in terms of play, in terms of courage, in terms of attitude, but them scoring, I think, is kind of less likely, to be honest.
Maybe the best chance will be from things like this, from set pieces. Corner which Levant will be taking. Once again aiming for the far post. Zidane back there to cover. You can hear them saying, get out.
Yeah, it was Casillas, wasn't it? Screaming, fuera, fuera, get out, get out.
Right back Flakbart on the left. He'll be looking for the long throw.
Did very well not to clash with the corner flag, didn't he?
It's a good long throw in there. Fernando Hierro rising above the pack. Casillas claiming. Oof, did well there, Jarosic, because there would have been real danger.
Really good athlete, isn't it?
As Figo got there. That's a good pass as well to Slonsic. Zelenka not quite putting that in the right place for his teammate. And Iker Casillas can take the goal kick. Popashek. He is replacing Hartig, I think he's come off.
Yeah. Well, Hartig has worked really, really hard, so I guess it's a tiredness substitution as much as anything else.
Papusek on for Hartig. So Hartig has been in the heart of nearly all of the Sparta attacks, as him and Jarosic have been the pick of the bunch for the home side.
Yes, yeah, I mean his work rate's been exceptional. His movement's been very, very good. He's made a lot happen, far more so than Kinkler, for example, alongside him.
But he's not covered as much ground. So Hartig must just be a weary man. Levant, robbed by Zidane. Here comes Sparta again as we into the closing stages of the game. There's just 12 minutes, a little bit less here in the Toyota Arena. Real Madrid leading 3-2, 2 goals from Fernando Morientes and 1 from Zidane. Could this be giving Madrid the start they were looking for as they go into the second group stage of the Champions League?
Well, it would be the perfect start, wouldn't it? Up next at the Santiago Bernabeu, Panathinaikos.
Once again, Sparta getting shots in, but from range, and you've got to say all credit to the Madrid midfield and defence as a player down injured. Sparta playing on.
I'm not sure if they've seen him himself.
I think it's Kinkler down. No, they have seen him. And there, Jarosic getting in.
Just could not quite climb high enough. Got a feel for him, haven't you? He's really led his team on.
The thing about that, carrying on when you've got a teammate down, basically it's up to you, isn't it? But if you then lose possession,
then you have to accept the other.
You can't accept the other. You can't expect the other team to think about doing the same. Just over 10 minutes to go here. 10 minutes for Real Madrid to hang on to a 3-2 lead. In what's been a hard battle tonight.
It's been a very, very tough game for Madrid, and Madrid have dealt with it in I suppose what you might call a professional manner, in so much as what they've done is they've just worked, they've tried to match Sparta all the way, they've kept them at a reasonable distance, and then
just use that little bit of extra class there. Papusek a little bit too enthusiastic, but of course it's supposed to be expected. He's only just come on to replace Hartig. Kinkler was slow there, the number 9.
It was Morientes that got back and right off him.
Flakbart, however, is a real problem for Madrid. He hurls this ball into the penalty area.
It's another good one.
Allowed Jarosic to get up,
but it was Elguero that was there. Fans want a back pass. There's no way that's a back pass. Elguera, when he has to, he just drops in as a third centre-back, doesn't he?
I think he'll be doing that a little bit more in the closing moments of the game. I'm just thinking, with 10 minutes to go, Madrid do have one big advantage. They have not yet made a substitution. What Vicente Del Bosque can do if he wants is he can now use those substitutions to break up the play.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, you're right, and it's not about making those substitutions in order to... It's not even really about making those substitutions in order to bring on fresh legs. It would be about making those substitutions, as you say, that if there's a spell where it looks like Sparta Prague are really pushing on and the momentum's up, right, substitution.
Take off Raul, for example, bring on Guti.
For a minute. Whether or not he'll do that remains to be seen, but...
The other possibility, of course, is at the moment, Madrid haven't made any substitutions. There won't be much injury time, so it's like, is it worth sacrificing an extra maybe a minute, 2 minutes injury time to make the changes? It's an important interception from Pavon, and then he cleared it brilliantly.
Very, very
It's
good.
Papusek again. Labant. It's a decent ball. But Elguera there in the central role to deny Sionko, scorer of Sparta's second goal on the night. They are making it difficult for Madrid. Eighth corner.
Corners to 1 for Madrid.
That's a good corner there. I think it was Zidane again.
Yeah, you're right, it was Zidane.
Zidane again in defence. Well, we said he was tall. And that's Elguera clearing it to Figo. Makelele. Ooh, he showed a little bit too much of that one there. And he was lost possession. Papusek. That's good control from Sionko, but Madrid still defending there. Papusek, Iker Casillas! Once again, good reactions from Iker.
Good reactions, and just as importantly,
Held on to it.
He held on to it. Because we've seen already a couple of times tonight what happens when you don't hold on to it.
Fernando Morientes, second goal for Real Madrid, a case in point. Just winds us out of almost nowhere there, doesn't he, Papusek? And Casillas, it bounces up on him as well, which makes it extra difficult. Zidane to Roberto Carlos. Powerful run from Roberto Carlos. He's out of position now, and he'll have to get back. There he is coming back as well. Kingdom got there, but couldn't do anything with it. Iker Casillas very grateful to collect it. Just looked a bit slow, the number.
Well, I was just about to say exactly that. He did look slow, and in the end he did pretty well to reach it with that lunge. But as he was running towards it, he looked very sluggish.
And Madrid are going to make a substitution. It's Steve McManaman prepared to come on.
I would guess for Raul.
Maybe Figo.
Yeah.
Just, he just fit into that right-hand channel, can't he? And just drop a little bit deeper, Maka, and then just once again do what helped Makelele just move the ball along. Fernando Hierro. Roberto Carlos just chips that one back. No fouls as the referee. Zidane. Once again, who is it? Jarosik.
His use of the ball is so good as well, isn't it?
Slonsic. Zidane. Figo does well there, just draws the foul.
Well, that may be one reason for wanting to keep Figo on, in that you've got a guy...
In fact, it's Morientes who's going off.
You've got a guy in Luis Figo who will consistently draw fouls. And I mean, we were talking about, you know, the benefit of breaking the play up. Well, nothing breaks the play up more than a guy who draws a lot of fouls.
Well, exactly, and it just gives you an extra 20 seconds.
And then, of course, gives you the chance to get the next ball in motion, set your team up again, and either go long or start to bring the ball back down and play.
Right, so we've got about 5 minutes left in the game here, 5 minutes of normal time. At the moment, when Sparta made 3 changes, Madrid made 1. We're only looking at a couple of minutes of injury time. There's been no treatment on the pitch that I remember. No. There's Steve McManaman.
McManaman looks like he's going to just fill in the middle. Add an extra man.
There he is, just covering against Sionko. Oof, the ball bouncing nastily there, but Salgado gets the clearance in. Not the tidiest clearance you'll ever see, but it's certainly effective.
Yeah, it was Ivan Elguero who made a little bit of a mess of it to let it come across. Salgado was saying when it bounced up that high, Salgado had virtually no choice than to just launch it.
Losing out again there, Elguero. But there, McManaman just showing a fresh pair of legs and pressuring. Roberto Carlos flicks that inside.
A little bit silly, I thought. Got away with it, and it actually got away with it very, very well, but
and it's just nicely
risky
with Michel Salgado. Madrid just trying to keep possession as these last 5 minutes tick away. Pavon to Elguero. That's better from Elguero to McManaman.
Sold Elguero a little short, didn't he?
Here's Papusek. Sionko, he was looking for that a little bit, just tempting Pavon into the challenge. But it is a chance, more work for Madrid to do in defence. Just backs into him a bit, doesn't he?
Look for the contact and rolled Pavon. It's a dangerous position as well.
And we've seen Labant shoot from this angle. I'm surprised Ika hasn't actually put a man in front of him. This time, however, he's curled it in. Good and Makalele did well. It's flicked over the top, and Ika comes out very, very quickly.
He was very, very decisive, Ika, which is more than can be said for Jarosek, who's had such a good game. He waited just a little too long for that ball to come down.
I think his legs possibly just betraying Jiri Jarosek. He's had a very good game, I should say.
I think he's been very impressive indeed.
It's Lavant. Good work from Figo. Possible foul throw there. He was actually running when he took it.
It's interesting, actually. Foul throws are something that referees virtually always ignore, and they happen quite a lot more often than they should.
I suspect there are a lot more than get about, I would say, 4 or 5 every game.
Easy, yeah. Even if it's players encroaching slightly into the pitch or lifting a foot, which is the main thing, all the time. But I guess it's just what's considered such a minor rule that unless someone literally runs up like a cricketer and tries to bowl it in, the referee's not going to be too worried about it.
We've got just over 2 minutes of normal time. Real Madrid winning 3-2 here in Prague. Goals on 20 minutes from Zidane, 36 from Morientes, and 74 Morientes again. On the way to giving Madrid 3 vital points as they kick off their campaign in the second phase of the Champions League.
It's a very good way to start, not just because of the result, but also because of the morale boost it will give Real Madrid and the confidence.
Real Madrid making a second substitution. It's Guti coming on, replacing Figo. Not a typical Figo performance tonight. A hard-working performance from Figo. He's really grafted, hasn't he?
He looked really, really good, didn't he, for the opening 15 or 20 minutes, and then from there on, as I say, hasn't done much of what we've come to know him for, but he has done a lot of the work. He has dropped in when he's had to, and I wonder if Vicente Rosca has very consciously as well substituted players who are on the far side of the pitch.
It's a little bit longer, but it's got to the stage where we've got a minute and a half of normal time left. Is it worth it if the referee then adds another 2 minutes of injury time? It's one to sort of swings and roundabouts, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess you trust that the referee, in theory, adds 30 seconds per substitution. I guess you trust that it takes slightly longer than 30 seconds to come off, and the referee only gives 30 seconds. It's a slight gamble.
If they are,
but more than anything else, it is about breaking up momentum.
Exactly. At the moment, we're looking at. It's a pity you can't give half minutes of injury time, because I think we'll be looking at 2.5. It'll be interesting to see what the referee decides on.
Well, of course he can, in so much as he can signal 2 minutes and let the clock run for 2.5. But
then if somebody scores after 2 minutes, you end up with a few complaints.
Yeah.
Papusek. Ball with Elguero, who's opened it out nicely. Michel Salgado. Intelligent play for Madrid. Zidane just crowded out there. They've worked very hard, Sparta.
They have.
There were 3 players around Zidane now, even though we're into the 90th minute. And then Makalele. There's 3 minutes of injury time.
And as you say, it probably would have been only 2 minutes without the 2 substitutions.
Yeah, it might be a foul.
Makalele just jumped into him, didn't he?
Once again, the referee hasn't shown any yellow cards tonight.
No, he's been very reluctant to pull his cards out.
And more defending for Madrid to do in injury time. Sparta have come back twice from a goal down.
That is a...
Oof, goodness me, Ike was a bit lucky there. He seemed to relax, and oh, that's a terrible miss there. That was Flakbart.
Flakbart was a terrible miss, and considering that before, just as Ike went up for that, I was just about to say that is a dreadful waste of a free kick, because it was an awful free kick.
It was.
Ike had no one on him except Elguera.
Just seemed to lose his balance over Elguera, and there Ike.
The ball ended up between his legs.
He's made 2 or 3 great saves. That wasn't his finest hour, though.
No, it hasn't. In terms of his handling, it hasn't been Ike's best night. But as you say, he's made a couple of very, very good saves. But Wolf, that was a heart flutterer, wasn't it?
Certainly was, and I wonder if Sparta will be thinking that was our chance, Flakbart. Unfortunately, maybe that dropped to the left back, Labant, rather than the right back. But we may have been looking at 3-all.
Yeah, and it's a shame because Flakbart has had a good game.
He's been very dangerous, especially with his long throws. It's caused a lot of problems. As it is, we've got just under 2 minutes of injury time, and the home fans roaring Sparta on. Here it is, right into the penalty area. Roberto Carlos won't think twice about sending that one long. And that's fantastic control from Zidane. Picks up McManaman.
Should just go to the corner. I think that's what he'll try and do.
Done well there, just got past.
Yeah, he's done well, McManaman, just taking the pressure. But that touch from Zidane,
it's unbelievable.
Because as you said, I mean, Roberto Carlos just hoofed that up in the air. It dropped pretty much with snow on it, and Zidane just went, just put it down.
The Sparta coach,
he's a little angry.
I think you probably hear him in across the river. Salgado. A little bit slack there from Guti. He has to play on the right. That's again the ball pumped forward. Hierro gets up well. Roberto Carlos cushions that one. McManaman just moves that along to Roberto Carlos. Losing out though. Flakbart battling his way, and Roberto Carlos conceding the free kick.
Yeah, Flakbart was looking for it, but Roberto Carlos just before that,
I think it'd have been better off just whacking it down the field.
Should have just whacked it, yeah.
So, 30 seconds to go.
But his attacking instincts, I think, sometimes just get the better of him, don't they? Roberto Carlos.
I think if he had got past the challenge, he'd have been away on 3, and he would have run the clock down.
And Peter Cech's on his way up, and the fans love to see that.
Right, be careful of Cech. He's big and tall, and the goalkeeper coming forward sometimes means there isn't anyone to mark him. And that's going for Cech. Oh, he nearly got there. As it is, the Madrid defence, which has been very...
Oh, well played, McManaman.
Can Madrid produce a 4th goal? Ooh, if McManaman has found Raul, I think we may be looking at 4. As it is, Labart crosses it one last time.
Oh dear.
And Kingtel basically sums up his night with that attempted volley. He's managed to get cramp and fall over. It's not a good night, the Sparta number 9. But that probably should be it for Real Madrid. They've defended very, very well.
And the fans now are giving a nice round of applause. I think that's their way of saying
brilliant effort from Sparta.
Brilliant effort, great game.
But you've been up against the best in Europe, perhaps, and taking them all the way. And there the referee blows the final whistle. So Zinedine Zidane's first goal in Europe on 20 minutes. Fernando Morientes on 36. And Morientes again showing a real poacher's instinct. After Cech made a good save from Roberto Carlos, Real Madrid scored 3 times here in Prague. You go away in Europe, you score 3, you normally win. It's Sparta Prague 2, Real Madrid 3. Once again, good defence, great firepower. Win for Real Madrid. We hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much, and goodbye.